the entire time. Do I have like leftover? I just have leftover mascara from yesterday. That's fine. Good morning, everybody, and welcome back to my channel. My name is Caitlin Costello, and I am the YA fantasy author of the Fritual Saga, and soon to be released, Until All the Stars Are Found, a science fiction, military, fun adventure novel. I think it's fun. It's currently available wherever you order books online. The ebook is coming out in 12 days, and I just can't wait. March 6th, mark your calendars. The hardcover will be a little bit delayed. It is going to be releasing on April 30th due to production delays that are out of my control. But I am really excited about this book. And one of the things that I wanted to try to do this time around that I haven't done for my other books is I'm going to cast it. I've seen a few people do this on YouTube, so I wanted to try my hand at it. And when I say cast it, I mean if I had full creative control, the rights have been bought or leased out, it's going to be made into a movie in the next few years. Who would I cast in my movie using my characters if I had that creative control? In most cases I would not, but I wanted to go through. I took this a little bit too seriously. In my life outside of writing, I do direct high school theater, so I do have to cast people. So I started looking up headshots, I started looking up what movies they'd been in, I looked up trailers to see how they acted. I spent way too much time doing the research portion of this. So I am going to pop into the corner and we're going to do little slides for each character. I do want to make a note that I obviously do not own the rights to any of these photos or anything like that. This is simply for fun, for inspiration of who I think these characters or actors would be good as, and a little back and forth commentary around that. So one thing that I want to say first off was this was actually really hard for me, and not because like I couldn't picture people, but because I realized that I have not absorbed a lot of recent film or TV. I did when I was at my parents' house. We used to watch TV all the time. We don't even own cable. We've got a couple different like subscription things, but I watch more YouTube than anything. I don't really watch TV, and when I do, it's more comfort shows that I've watched a few times. So I found it really hard to find young actors, and also diverse young actors, because my book is diverse. So finding my lead was actually really hard. So I'm just gonna get started. I'm gonna pop into the corner now and we're gonna get right into it. So Ada Gomez is my lead actress, or lead character in the book. She is just turned 18 years old. She was formerly in the foster system, and she's now getting into the Galactic Garrison. And she is of Hispanic descent, but I also was okay with casting a Black character. So this was super hard for me to cast. Is that all of the actors that I've been considering for her or picturing for her in my head this entire time are like 35 or 45. One is 50. While those are great actors, it'd be hard for them to play an 18-year-old. So I had to really think about it. So the first actor is Ariella Barber. She is from The Runaways and also is on TV in One Day at a Time. One thing that I do want to note with the next three actresses, Ariella Barber included, is that they all have, in my head, a certain look of Ada, but there's something missing. For her, I feel like there's a little bit more edge, a little bit more toughness, and that it wasn't seeing in these photos that I could find. But there was a bit of it. So the next person is Isabella Gomez. She does Big Hero 6, the series. I didn't know there was a Big Hero 6 TV show. Cue me going and watching that now. And she also is in One Day at a Time. So apparently I need to watch that show if I want to see more of these two to cast them in my hypothetical movie. The next one was actually an interesting one, was because of just like the difference in the two characters, is Sarah Jeffrey. And she is known as I think it's Mel. No, Mel is the other one. Whose daughter is she? She's in Descendants, and she wears the purple wig. That's all I know, but she's in Descendants. But then the other one, the photo that got me, was she is in the remake of Charmed. She's in Charmed, and there's a photo of her holding out a wand and just looking like a badass, and I was like, that is the channeling that I need. So I'll probably put that photo up for you to see. I've got two more. Ada, like I said, Ada was super hard for me to like really get down. Bianca Santos, was in Duff, Ouija, and Priceless Atonia, and she is closer to that look. I want to say like everybody has a very round, soft face, and I wanted more like cheekbones, more anger and edge. And then the last one that I have is Tristan Mays, who I have seen do acting and action acting in the new MacGyver series. So I'm leaning towards her being my top one. Next we have Mesa is a Alawino. She is an alien from space that Ada comes in contact with, and her original character design in my head was if Mystique combined with Randall from Monsters Inc., specifically for the tail and the color. But she is able to shift and take different forms. So she is one that the actress or actor would have to be totally cool with doing a ton of different prosthetics. So that was something that I looked at for a little bit to see like who has done really intense prosthetics that I think could also do really well as her. And the person that came up first was Kay Alexander, and she was in Game of Thrones as Leaf in the later parts of the series, and Collateral, I don't know how to pronounce that. But the one that really got me, which I'm so excited about, which is a side tangent if you don't know this, I am obsessed and love, though I have not finished it because it is heckin' long, the Wheel of Time series by Robert Jordan. It came out in the 90s and 80s. The books are like 1,000 pages each. It's a very long arching fantasy story. And they've been trying to do the rights for the TV show or a movie for years, and they said that they were going to do it a couple of years ago, and apparently now they're actually doing it. It's like actually happening. It's on Amazon, so I need to go watch that later tonight. And she is in it, and I was like, oh my god, you are now in my movie because of that, solely because of that. The Wheel of Time actually played a really big part of me writing the Frituals. It was the catalyst that like spurred the idea. So because of that, there is several characters in the series that are named after characters in the book. Matron Coffin is in the Wheel of Time series. He is a jester and a jokester and a gambler. In my series, he is the first Fritual that got powers. He is the one that is referenced back to when they talk about the history of Cabanarral Lake. And then the other one that I directly reference is Moraine. In the Wheel of Time series, Moraine is one of the magic users that is very powerful. She is an Aes Sedai, and in my series, she is the queen of Cabanarral Lake and queen of the elves, and I'm just so excited. That is a complete side tangent, but because of that, Kay Alexander immediately got a spot in my movie. And the other one is Anya Taylor-Joy, who most recently was in The Queen's Gambit, Emma and The Witch and Peaky Blinders. And she kind of has the look that I feel like Mesa would take the most when she takes a human form. She is takes a very pristine blonde white chick when she wants to sort of fit in with some of the other recruits, and she always feels like she has perfect hair. And that's what I see when I look at Anya. So that is Mesa. The next one is Dita, and Dita is so much fun. For me, Dita is based off of one of my good friends from college. Very happy, sprightly, but also like stupid smart in this series. And she is very good with technology and just like very snappy fast, but also bubbly and fun. So I have 3 different actresses, and all of them are actresses of color. And I did want to note, because I'm interested to know what people think, especially, actually no, I didn't end up putting someone. Actually I did. So I want to know what your thought is with actors of color using prosthetics that obviously change their skin tone, because there's a whole conversation about, well, with Disney right now, where actors of color or characters of color aren't staying as Black actors. So I want to know what you think of Black actors using prosthetics and changing. For example, Idris Elba just did, well, not just did, but he did Star Trek, and he looks nothing like himself. He's like blue. And that would be like the case with these characters, would be they would not be staying as their natural form, but they're also playing aliens. So is that cool? I want to say that it's okay because they're portraying a character, but I am intrigued to know what people think. I want to see that conversation. I am okay either way. So the first person that I have is Letitia Wright, and I'm hoping I'm pronouncing her name right. And she is most recently known for playing Shuri in Black Panther and killing it and being amazing. And she was also in Ready Player One, and I feel like she really encapsulates Dita for me in quite a few different ways. Oh, I didn't say what Dita is. Dita is a blue alien, sort of like the characters from Avatar, but instead of hair, she has like tentacles. Originally I thought of the Jedi Master from Star Wars, but also meets Medusa, but not bad. The next one that I have is Marcy Martin, and she's in Blackish, and she is so cute and so funny, and again, with that really quick humor, she's got great comedic timing, which I think would be really awesome for Dita. And then the last one is kind of a nostalgia one for me, and that is Sky Jackson from Jessie and Bunked and like Nickelodeon shows. Not Nickelodeon, Disney XD. But she was also in G.I. Joe. She was someone's daughter, so she's had acting experience. So that's why she's on my list. Next up we have Cathal. Cathal Torek, and he is a character from the Kuiper Belt. He is a nomad, and as they are so far from the sun, he is kind of like an albino. He's very, very pale. He has yellow eyes. He has white hair. So it's one of those of, this is where it comes back to, is it okay if people of color are like whited out if they are not portraying a human? Because it kind of would just be doing whiteface. And that's where I am hesitant. So I was looking for quite a few white actors, but none of them were really doing it for me. They all had the same typical white boy look. And like, Tom Holland came up, Timothy Charlemagne, I don't know how you pronounce his name. I've never seen him in anything. They kept coming up, but it wasn't the right look. That was what I kept dealing with. So the first person that I picked was one that I'm still not entirely sure on. It was Ty Sheridan, and he was the lead in Ready Player One, and he was also in X-Men Apocalypse and X-Men Dark Phoenix. So clearly he's okay with action sequences and things like that. Next, which is where I am, and he is the oldest of my young actors, is Dev Patel. He is most known for The Lion and for Slumdog Millionaire, and beautiful. He is originally what Cathal looked like in my brain before twisting him to like translucent skin, yellow eyes, pale as heck. So I still want to go with that, even though like he's not pale, or he's not dark skinned and dark haired and tall, dark and gloomy. Not gloomy, you know what I mean, the trope. And then the next, my last one, Cathal is like the one that I'm most up in the air about. is Nicholas Hamilton, and he was in It and Danger Close. I do want to say that I have not seen any of the only one that I have seen is Ty Sheridan. He's the only one I've seen act. The other ones I have not, so I can't comment on that. Now we have Sarkis, who is Ada's baby brother. He is still stuck on Earth in the foster system, and she just wants nothing more than to get him out. And so you only see him in the book once. So I really wanted him to make a good impact to show, because the impacts of his storyline affect Ada throughout. Athena's causing chaos in the background. Sorry. So and I needed someone that could also parallel Ada. So where I said Tristan Mays, if Tristan Mays were cast, it would throw these off. Just a note. So the first one is Noah Jupe. He was in Honey Boy, A Quiet Place, and Wonder. I've not seen any of these little boys act before. I've never seen any movies with them, so I can't really comment on them. The next one is Zachary Arthur, who apparently has partial deafness. I did not read the article, I just saw the heading, but I was like, that would be really cool to have in my movie. We'd like inclusivity. And he was in The Fifth Wave and The Half of It. I know about The Fifth Wave. I remember seeing the book. I don't remember if I actually read it. I remember it was in the time of all of the... I'm gonna sneeze. It was in the time of all of the post-apocalyptic dystopian books and movies being like a big thing, but it doesn't stick out in my mind, so I don't think I actually watched it, or I watched part of it, but it might have just been the trailers. I don't remember. And my last person for Little Sarkis would be Augustus Maturo, and he is in Boy Meets World. I did watch a couple clips of him, and he is so cute and funny. He would be the oldest, I believe, of the three. He's 14, so it would be one where you need to act or age yourself down to be 12. So, you know. Next is Jackson, and Jackson is an asshole. Jackson is Ada's foster parent, who is just a complete dick. So I was trying to find someone that looked like a dick. But this also turned into, like, who would I just want to see? So with the adults, if we're getting into the adult characters, these are the ones that, like, either I think would do really good in the role, or I just solely want to meet them. So we've got Christopher McDonald. He was in Flubber, and he was in Captain Nemesis, or he was in Ben 10, the TV show, as the voice of Captain Nemesis. He is one that I don't remember ever seeing him act, but when I saw his picture, I knew exactly who he was. So maybe it's the same for you. He's done a lot of TV shows, but I don't know a lot of them. And then the next one is one of those where I just want to meet him, and that is Alfie Allen from Game of Thrones. And I thought he did great in Game of Thrones, and I just want to see him, though I don't know if this is the best spot for him. I don't know where to put him, but I want him. Now we have Wayne, Sergeant Wayne, who is the head of the fighting division in the Galactic Garrison, is the one that trains them to be fighters and make sure that they pass all the basic military fighting techniques and strategies and all of that sort of thing. So he pops up quite a bit. I didn't include any of the other specialty leaders. There's 5 specialties. There is fighter, jumper, techie, medic, and espionage. So the only one I included in this was the fighter. And there's 3 people that I have in this, and that is, the first one is Kitty Cat. The first one, I would be interested to see how it would go, but also I just want to meet him, is Hugh Jackman. 100% just want to meet him and say, Hugh Jackman's in my movie. Solely, that's all it is. Next is George Eads, who is in the new MacGyver, and I think that could work. You know, MacGyver, pretty much a drill sergeant. They go together. And then, again with the MacGyver, but the original MacGyver, Richard D. Anderson. He is also in Stargate as Captain O'Neill, and I just think it would be perfect. I think he is like the actual one I think would be great for it. But also Hugh Jackman. Torty is another one of my aliens. So Torty is a Plutonian, so he's from planet Pluto, but he's also kind of like a mobster gang leader on Earth, and he is someone that Ada uses as a contact. She tries not to have interactions with him too often, but he is someone that she can trust to a point. How much can you really trust a mobster? That sort of thing. So I wanted someone that had that kind of swagger, that aloofness, that like don't mess with me sort of thing. So the first one that I should also see, he is orange, like a deep burnt orange color, and I realized when I was thinking about it, I don't think I mentioned anything about hair in the book, but they have goat eyes, so that's like the vertical slits for eyes, and I've always pictured it with like a Pumbaa, like mohawk of black hair, but I don't think Torty has any hair. So I'm just looking at my notes. So the first person that I have is Christopher Judge, who was in Stargate as Teal'c. Can you tell I'm rewatching Stargate? There's two characters in here. And I just think has that swagger that I would need. That toughness, but not really showing too much emotion. He was also in Batman, but just as a secondary, like not a walk-on, but he was one of the mercenaries. So now I need to go back and watch Batman. Excuse me. And then the last one that I think would really be the best, but I question whether or not he would let himself be painted orange, is Ron Perlman, who was Hellboy. So like maybe he'd be cool being painted orange. He was the original Hellboy. He's already painted red, so why not paint him orange? And he was also what people most likely know him as without prosthetics, is he is the like lead dad dude in Sons of Anarchy. See, yeah, you know, Sons of Anarchy. And I think he would he could definitely pull off like a mobster, like, hey baby, how you doing? How you doing? How you doing? No, we're not doing that. It doesn't actually have an Italian accent, like New Yorker Italian accent. It kind of got written in a little bit. I didn't mean for it to, but it just happened. Very stereotypical. And the last one. So the last one that we're going to do is Commander Carver, and she is the head of the Galactic Garrison base on Earth, or off Earth because it's in our orbit. And she is strict. She is rigid. She is like, I can't portray her to a point where people think she is too much rigidity, too much harshness. I did a post about her the other day. And so I've got a couple different people, some are from the same series, that are in my brain that I think she could do it. So the first one that comes to mind, she is also originally a nomad like Cathal, so she's going to have the same white, just like super pristine white, very pale, translucent white hair, yellow eyes, that sort of like, this is how I describe things. Welcome to what it's like working with me in theater. And the first person that I picked for this was Emilia Clarke. We've already seen her in a white wig. We've already seen her be a woman in power. Like, she's got it. She already has it there. So, but she, aside from like the last season and a few times when she had to say Dracarys, we never really saw her, and you can argue with me in the comments, as like super rigid, edgy. She always had that kindness to her until the end. So that's where I'm like, Carver doesn't have that. There is no mercy. But again, we have lots of prosthetics. So the next person that I had is Helena Bonham Carter. Again, I don't know what I wouldn't want to see her in. I just need her in this movie. She was in Harry Potter as Bellatrix. She was in Planet of the Apes and I didn't even realize it. She was in Alice in Wonderland. She is in any movie with Johnny Depp. Like, she's amazing. I want her in my movie. I want her as my bad lady. Another one that the next two are from Game of Thrones as well. Lena Headey. We've seen her as Cersei. We've seen her without mercy. We've seen her as a lady in power. What more do you need? Lena Headey. She was also in 300. And then the next one, and my last one for my characters, is Gwendolyn Christie. She was in Game of Thrones as well as Brienne of Tarth, and she was also in Star Wars, and I can't think of what her character name was, but she was the Silver Storm Trooper, clone trooper. She was the silver one with the really big axe. So, and again, she is just a large, powerful woman, and that is what I need in this character. So that is what I have so far for my cast list. I want you, once you've read the book, to comment down below who you would cast. I want this to be a growing and changing. Come back to this video. Do that for me later. But then I have another couple things that I added in here. Would be, who would I want to produce the movie? Who would I want to produce the movie? And the first one that came to mind, like, as an automatic, but was like, I don't know if they actually would, just because of the content and the amount of swearing. I don't think that they would do it, was Disney. If I could have a Disney budget, that'd be cool. Also Netflix, but I am hesitant on Netflix. Like, that would be cool, but also like, but also Netflix. Lucasfilms, again, not in their wheelhouse, but they are picking up more things, so maybe. It's also space, so maybe. And then the last one that I had was Lionsgate. They did The Hunger Games and something else I can't think of right now because I didn't write it down, but Lionsgate was one that came to mind as like, that could be good. I think that they could pull it off. And the last one that I have for my little list is, who would I want to direct my film? I would say me, but I know nothing about film directing, and I would do a shit job. Maybe I can be like an assistant to help, but I'm not gonna say I'm cool enough to direct a film. No. So I want Jon Favreau. Again, he just does great things with the films he touches, and I feel like I could trust him with this. Also, he was the only one that I could think of as a director that I knew of off the top of my head was something I liked. So we have Jon Favreau, and I don't know if I'm pronouncing his name right. So this is my casting. I hope you enjoyed this. Again, let me know in the comments down below who you would cast if you had the choice or the recommendation to cast people in Until All the Stars Are Found. Who would you cast? I want to know. Also, the conversation about putting Black actors in prosthetics so that they don't look like anything like themselves. I want to know your thoughts on that. I am intrigued. I want to have this conversation. Okay. Please pre-order Until All the Stars Are Found. I do still have a few copies available that will be available on April 30th. If you pre-order a signed copy, if you want a signed copy and I run out, I will be making a waiting list. The ebook comes out in 12 days. 12 days! And I'm just so excited. If you want to see more fun stuff that I'm making up until the launch, make sure you follow my social media. I am at author Caitlin Costello in most places. The book can be found most places. And I will be having a live stream here on March 6th at 3 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, where I'm going to read a portion of the book. We're going to talk about the book, and we're just going to celebrate the ebook coming out. This is long and I'm gonna have to edit it so much down, but I'm so excited. All right, I love you all. I'll see you soon. Bye. So there's a photo of her. Oh, it's snowing outside. I have to go drive in a little bit and it's snowing. That'll be good. That'll be great.